Hello, I'm Tripwire, and welcome back to the slow play of Dark Souls Remastered. In the last episode, we took down the 4 kings below Firelink Shrine. Feels good to get that one out of the way. We also acquired and turned in the very large ember, so we no longer have that. Andre has that, but we did get the bequeathed Lord Soul Shard from the 4 kings who felt the dark. A fragment of a Lord Soul discovered at the dawn of the Age of Fire. Lord Gwyn recognized the foresight of these 4 great leaders of New Londo and granted them their ranks and the fragments of a great soul. Although this is not a full Lord Soul, it can still satiate the Lord Vessel. So, I believe this is the only shard we get. I think the rest of them are intact on their own, but Lord Gwyn actually gave the 4 kings a piece of his own soul, I believe. And as you can see, it's under the key items section, unlike the other soul items, because you can't use this on anything except the Lord Vessel, because you need it to progress the story. So it'd be kind of silly if they would let you just waste it like that. And then we also have the Soul of Sif. Special beings have special souls. Use the Soul of Sif, who inherited the Divine Knight Sword, to acquire a huge amount of souls or to create a unique weapon. So they all the boss souls say, or create unique weapon. That's all it says, but you need to find out just by playing the game how many options there are. Most boss souls, or not most, but a lot of the boss souls give you the option of creating more than 1 weapon. So the Soul of Sif is used to create 3, hence you need to go to New Game Plus Plus in order to complete the all boss weapons achievement if you're going for that, because that one requires 3. Or not requires, but that one requires you to get all of them, and Sif's Soul has 3 options. Them being the Greatsword of Artorias, the true Greatsword of Artorias, and then something else that I'm blanking on right now. I think it's a shield. I don't know. Anyway, you might have noticed the difference in our loadout here. I'm no longer wielding the Claymore. I'm wielding a Zweihander plus 15. It turns out I had enough. Well, after I went to the blacksmith in Anor Londo and bought large shards, it turned out I had enough chunks to upgrade to plus 14, and then the final step from plus 14 to plus 15 requires a Titanite slab, which you might remember we got from going back to the asylum and fighting the stray demon. So, excuse me, we no longer have a slab. That was our only slab for the time being. Oh, we upgraded the Zweihander. As you can see, the damage of the plus 10 Claymore, 206. The plus 15 Zweihander is 325. And it is going to be slower, but it's got some serious force behind it. I think it's going to be fun to use for the rest of this playthrough, or at least for a chunk of it. We'll see what other items we get as drops. This one's also a strength weapon. It's the butcher's knife that was wielded by Maneater Mildred. Oh yeah, and the butchers, of course. It's got kind of a lame moveset. I don't really like those. The Dragon King Great Axe we can wield with 2 hands now. Still very slow. Ooh, that was fucking cool. Damn, I forgot that the dragon items have specials. Did we get the Drake Sword? We didn't get the Drake Sword at the beginning of the playthrough, did we? You can cut the tail off of the Hellkite Drake on the bridge and get the Drake Sword. That also has a special attack. So, right bumper is that, but the other attack was the right trigger. And for weapons that have a special attack, right trigger is how you activate it, but it chunks the durability, so you can't just use it ad nauseum and suffer no penalty. So right now it's at 350 durability. Use the special attack again. Look at that AoE. It's now down to 300, so you're losing 50 points of durability each time you do that. The Dragon Tooth starts at 999 durability, which I think is the only item in the game that does, but this is not a special attack. That's just a regular old R2, so it doesn't have one, but it's extremely tough because it's created from the tooth of an everlasting dragon. It will never break, as it is harder than stone, so it's pretty cool. So those are some strength weapons we have, but I don't think I want to roll with any of those. We're just going to go with the Zwei plus 15, and because the Zweihander plus 15 is just a regular old weapon, remember that it can be buffed with the offhand buff items we have. So I can apply lightning to it, I can apply fire to it, etc. Whereas the special weapons, so the dragon ones, you can't. And I believe any weapon that scales its damage off of intellect or faith also cannot be buffed, I think is the way it works. But anyway, I think what my plan is to just go ahead and continue with the main story at this point. we don't really have a ton left in the main story, but remember, before I finish off the game, we are going to diverge a bit, and I'm going to be playing through the DLC. I'm going to be playing through the Painted World, which is an optional area back in Anor Londo. So we've definitely got quite a bit of time left together in this series. So if you've been enjoying it, that's good news for you. And if you haven't, you're not watching, so it doesn't matter. So anyway, we're going to head back to Anor Londo, speaking of, because this is how you access one of the Lord Soul areas. You know what? Actually, I'm going to do before... Before we do that, I want to show you guys what happens if you break the illusion of Anor Londo. That's a fun little tidbit. So warp to the chamber of the Princess Bonfire, and speedrunners actually do it this way. So remember I told you that's not the real Guinevere, the princess, and that's not the real Ornstein. So I think the Ornstein lore you get from his armor set if you kill him second, but you'll find out that he left Anor Londo a long time ago. And so did Princess Guinevere. So then that begs the question, who's this? Well, the answer is she's no one. This is an illusion created by the Dark Sun Gwyndolin. Gwyndolin being the last-born child of Lord Gwyn, Gwyn's son. Gwyndolin is ruling over Anor Londo now that the gods have abandoned it. It's forsaken Anor Londo, and he's the only god left, but he wanted to create this illusion that the city is still prosperous and nothing's wrong. So he's created an illusion of Princess Guinevere, aka his alleged sister, and there are some other things that are illusions too that you'll see will change when we kill this illusion. Speedrunners do it this way, where they just shoot the illusion, because it's faster than talking to her to receive the Lord Vessel, actually. If you didn't have the Lord Vessel already, you get it there.
The Godmother's image, I am Gwyndolin, and thy transgression shall not go unpunished. Thou shalt perish in the twilight of Anor Londo.
So now we could see, during that cutscene, everything got a lot darker. So most people's theory is that the very light of Anor Londo was an illusion. So the whole sunny atmosphere, that was a lie too. Part of Gwyndolin's plan to make everybody think that things are okay, now that we're approaching the end of the Age of Fire. He was like, well, the princess is still here, ruling over it, waiting for her chosen undead to fulfill the prophecy. And Ornstein's still here. That's the real Ornstein. Nobody look under his armor. That's Ornstein, don't worry. And also, everything's fine and sunny and happy. But it's not. That was all an illusion. So now we're now in the Twilight Anor Londo, and this is a one-time encounter, these two NPCs, but these two NPCs are here now that we have betrayed Gwyndolin, so to speak, and now we're in the spooky time. You'll notice that the royal guards are gone. And one of the reasons I wanted to do this was because now all of the sentinels in the entire city will be gone, even the ones that were back across the bridge there. The sentinels themselves were illusions. They were guarding nothing, right? Because nothing was there to protect, but Gwyndolin wanted you to believe there was still stuff worth protecting here, but there wasn't. So I'm actually curious if you can aggro one or if they aggro as a team. Oh, you can aggro one. The other one investigates, but that'll just make things easier on us. But everything is not as it seems in this area, and also in this game in general. Holy shit, we dunked you. 1 R2 from the Zwei, the plus 15 Zwei. This one did not die in one hit, but we dunked him into the ground, which helps. Goodbye. Pancaking enemies is very satisfying. Those guys will not respawn. But the Silver Knight Archer, gone. The Sentinels, gone. It was all an illusion. And Dark Sun Gwyndolin is an optional boss that we will be fighting at some point, don't worry. But it's very interesting that he wanted to protect the image of Anor Londo to, I guess, prevent people that were left behind after the gods abandoned it from worrying that the Age of Fire truly is coming to an end. And like, it's definitely, things are on their way out in the story of Dark Souls. But it's interesting because like the illusion of Guinevere pushes you to succeed Lord Gwyn, and because the illusion is an illusion, we know that it's actually Gwyndolin that wants us to succeed Lord Gwyn. So Lord Gwyn is the final boss. Gwendolyn is his son, and Gwendolyn wants us to take his place and link the fire to extend the age. So, I mean, the Curse of the Undead never gets broken, but Gwendolyn and Kingseeker Frampt have the same goal, which is to push us into becoming the next Gwyn, basically. Not going to tell you any more about that or say whether they're wrong or right or good or bad. I mean, a lot of these games are left open to interpretation on purpose, and I'm not the best source of lore. I would say if you want lore, again, Epic Namebro and VaatiVidya are your best resources. Check them out. But it's just really interesting to me, and I hope to you too. So we're going to warp back to the Anor Londo bonfire, and immediately you're going to notice that we're in trouble with the bonfire keeper. She ain't fucking happy. Oh shit, we actually still can rest here. That's interesting. So if we had walked all the way down across the bridge, we would have encountered her. She is waiting for the person who destroyed the illusion, and as you can see, it's all dark here. And all the sentinels are gone. I actually thought she'd be waiting for us at the bonfire. That's interesting. So Anastasia, which is the name of the bonfire keeper in Firelink Shrine, it kind of leads you to believe that a bonfire keeper cannot be far away from her bonfire, but this bonfire keeper proves that you can, or they can. She leaves her bonfire, and the bonfire is still active, as we just saw. However, if the bonfire keeper dies, it is no longer active. So if we had walked all the way back, we would have been attacked by her, and I want to show you guys that. So I'm just going to drop on down and encounter her down here. Also, you may have noticed that we're back to mid-rolling because the Zweihander is a very heavy weapon. It's much heavier than the Claymore, so we're back to mid-rolling, but that's fine because the weapon is amazing. So she should be down this way. I think she's on the far side, waiting for us. Yeah, you can see her standing there. So I haven't fought her in a long time, but I don't remember her being a particularly difficult fight. But she mad, she waiting for us, and she's facing the wrong way. I guess she kind of forgot that we have the Lord Vessel, and can we sneak up on her?
So it was you, wasn't
I guess not.
How dare you produce a blade upon a deity? How did you ever get this far?
Dick move, interrupting her speech.
This man is a threat, Master Gwendolyn.
So she was loyal to Gwendolyn. She drops her Firekeeper soul because she is a Firekeeper. So now we can actually upgrade our Estus to +4. And now, actually, I don't know where it's going to take us if we use a Homeward Bone, because her fire is going to be inactive now. However, as a gameplay consideration, I think that doesn't mean you can't warp. But you see, the Homeward Bone will no longer take us back to that bonfire because that bonfire is invalid as a respawn point. We can still warp there, though, because if it made it so that, you know, maybe you accidentally attacked the NPC because you didn't know much about what, you know, how the game works, and then you no longer have this access, that would kind of suck. But, so we can warp here, but we can't rest here, and we can't respawn here. Firekeeper's absent, cannot light bonfire. But you can still warp here, so that's good. So we come back here, and now I will take you to the next Lord Soul area. And what reminded me to do all this nonsense with Anor Londo was looking over here and seeing the Sentinels, and I was like, wait, I can get rid of them. So the Royal Sentinels are gone because they were part of the Grand Illusion, and this side path leads up to an area called the Duke's Archives. So, yeah, it's not as cheerful here once the illusion is broken. But if you go up this side path up the hill, into the hills, that'll take us to Duke's Archives, which is where we will find Seath the Scaleless, the dragon who dreamed of immortality, but he was scaleless, and the scales of immortality, the stone scales of the undying dragons, he did not have, so he was always jealous of them. In the opening cutscene, we learned that he betrayed them, helped Gwyn defeat the everlasting dragons by betraying his own. So this boar can't go past the threshold here. Two hits with the Zwei. If you get your positioning right, when they turn around and start to walk away, you can get a backstab on them, but it's kind of finicky with these enemies in particular. And there are two of them, so be careful in this hallway. But yeah, Seath was a duke. He was granted dukedom by Lord Gwyn, hence Duke's Archives. Also, I'm going to show you a neat trick for the second boar. For the second boar, ignore him, run past him, and right up the stairs. The bonfire is there, but since there's an enemy nearby, we can't rest at it right now anyway. So come to the right side of this little elevator, and the boar will get stuck. And then you just kill it. It can't actually get through that gap. So this is the entryway to Duke's Archives. We've got a bonfire, and then we immediately need to go up an elevator into the next area. And the Duke's Archives is an area that once you've learned how the layout works, you can get through very quickly, but it's going to be a little jarring difficulty-wise for first-time players, I think. I remember it being so for me. So I remember I told you guys that the crystal weapons and the crystal armor are exceptionally well statted for when you get them, because it's speculated to just be a gameplay consideration. If you've gotten to this point in the game and you're struggling because you haven't been upgrading your shit, because maybe you don't know better, you can get access to crystal stuff, and it'll outperform whatever you've got at the time, probably, and you don't have to upgrade it. So these guys have all been crystallized, because Seath the Scaleless is obsessed with crystals, and their mystical powers in place of the Scales of Immortality that he does not have. Ouch. See, that arrow did a lot of damage. These guys, because they're crystal, and there you go, these ones use crystal straight swords, they do a lot of damage, more so than you would imagine, and so it's worth being very careful in this area. And then, as an extra dick move, there is a channeler back there, casting soul arrows at us, but again, channelers can buff nearby enemies, and when the crystal enemies are buffed, they do insane damage. On New Game Plus, on my other character. Ah, okay, he did like a little quick shield bash. On New Game Plus, look at that shit! So that actually killed me because I was off balance. I had just finished an attack animation, so he got an attack of opportunity, did bonus damage. That's what I'm talking about. These guys are just strong from the ground up. And then if they get buffed by Seath, it's not Seath. If they get buffed by the channeler, it's terrible. But yeah, in New Game Plus, I did a little dodge up the staircase and immediately got shot in the head with one of those arrows, and it took out like 2/3 of my life in one arrow. It was crazy. So do not underestimate any crystal enemies. They are douchebags, to say the least. So we're going to go up here, get through the entrance to Duke's Archives, and then I think we're going to cut the episode so as not to let this one get too long. But remember, there's an enemy around the corner to the left. There's an enemy to the right. There's an enemy that will come down at you immediately here. There is the archer up at the top. There's one next to the crystal golem to the right. This area is chock full of enemies, and it's not super hard to kill them, but they will hurt. They will hurt you. So the running attack of the Zwei is also a smooshy boy, pancakey boy attack. Okay, I tried targeting, but it didn't target in time. And then one will come from around the corner. Look at that damage. Again, I think I was off balance, but still. Oh, he was buffed. That's why you can see the blue glow around him. Look at that damage. It's incredible how much they hurt. I'm wearing a robe set, obviously, but like still. That channeler buff is awful. So, anyway, this crystal golem might seem out of place, and it kind of is. Keep in mind, Seath is studying crystals. So it's not super out of place, and when we're outside of this area, we'll encounter some more crystal golems, but this one seems out of place because it's the only one around. And it's because it drops a very important item. I said it drops a very important item. It drops a very important item. Where's the important item? We killed the Hydra in the Dark Route, right? Am I forgetting the order of operations? In any case. So I clearly have things out of order. I guess We killed the Hydra, but then I think I was supposed to go back into the back corner and kill the Golden Golem. I think I missed that step. But anyway, that Golem is placed right here because he actually is a key enemy in accessing the DLC. So we'll be back at some point to right the wrongs of the fact that I clearly don't remember. I missed a step. Wow, we got the Channeler's Trident. This character is so lucky. The Channeler's Trident also has an extremely low drop rate that I had to farm for. This character is nuts. The Dark Hand, Trident. So, again, we're just gonna come through this area, dude, and deal with some more crystal enemies. This area is just chock fucking full of them. That jumping attack's easy too. Wow, okay. Dude, fuck you. We'll grab this item. As you can hear, there's 2 archers above. Want to be careful about. And then to the right, we've got one there. To the left, got one there. So lots of enemies. The one on the left is archer. The one across is melee. Oh, and he's coming. He's coming. Are you kidding me? I clinked off of the railing. No, sir. No, thank you. I refuse. So anyway, this area can be a bit of a nightmare for new players. If you're observing, you can see a chest on top of the bookshelves there. You actually can't get to that chest right now. Also, I just realized that I left my air conditioner running. I'm so sorry if it's been bothering you guys. Let me turn that off. Hopefully the rattling noise wasn't audible on stream. I'm almost certain that it on recording. I'm almost certain that it was though, so sorry. It's only been a full freaking episode with that sound. Oops. So anyway, there's a doorway over there, but we don't want to go out that way. I mean, we can. It's just an item. It's not actually the way forward. But hey, look, more crystal enemies, and hey, look, another crystal enemy. And around the corner, you can see the shadow. You guessed it. Another crystal enemy. And it's just for this. One singular Twinkling Titanite. Not a bad thing to pick up, but the hardships we had to face to get there, huh? Look at all these guys. The range on this Zweihander is amazing as well. So there's a chest right here. However, you can see this chain. That chain looks a little suspicious, don't it? Because it ain't a chest, it's a mimic. You guessed it. I don't know how I hit him with that attack, but I ain't complaining. Crystal Knight Shield. So it's like the Knight Shield we picked up back in the Undead Burg, except again, it's got increased stats because it's the crystal variant. So if you are struggling and you want a better shield, just grab it from that chest. Well, that mimic. Anyway, the way forward is actually up this next elevator. So up we go. In this next little section, you're going to see the effect of Seath's experimentation with crystals. Everything around us is starting to become crystallized because of all the stuff he's doing here in the archives. And crystals have interesting properties in the Dark Souls world. One of them is that if you stay in contact with crystals, you actually build up curse, which is a little unfortunate. But they've got some interesting properties. So there's a crystal warrior here. He has no lore on him as far as I'm aware. Oh, he's just dead. He's just like the only enemy of his type in the entire game. But he's there. If you go up here, there's a crystal lizard that I cannot hit. There we go. 2 Twinkling Titanite. Oh, also, I think I forgot to mention, but if you do a save quit out real quick, or not even real quick, but if that lizard gets away from you, any crystal lizard gets away from you and disappears, if you reload the game, they'll be back, so you get another chance. You can quit out as many times as you need to and get chances at the crystal lizards. Oh man, I also got to remember not to forget the Great Hollow. Now that we've got the ability to warp, the Great Hollow is an option, and that area is sweet. So you come up the stairs, everything's crystallized, and you come to a fog door. And this fog door leads to a boss encounter, but not really. This is Seath, and you can try to attack him, but it doesn't matter. Also, I should be wielding this rare ring of sacrifice. So you see that? My curse meter is building up, and that's really bad. You don't want to get cursed. Remember, curse is the worst status ailment in the game. I told you that earlier in the playthrough, because it instantly kills you and then when you wake up, or when you respawn, you're still cursed, except that you have a cap where your HP is cut in half. And that ailment doesn't go away until you use a Purging Stone and get rid of the curse. Purging Stones also have cool lore on them, because a Purging Stone is a consumable item made out of a person, like a different being's or person's life essence, because there's no way to break a curse in the world of Dark Souls. You just transfer it to a different surrogate. So the Purging Stone used to be a person. So pretty cool. But anyway, we put on the rare ring of sacrifice, making it so that we didn't lose anything when we died, and also the rare ring variant breaks curse. So if we had gotten cursed in that, we wouldn't have had to bother with the whole Purging Stone thing. So that's what the rare ring variant is for. So now we'll just go ahead and put back on the Chloranthy ring. And as you can see, we are now in a different location, because that is a scripted death. You have to die there, unless you glitch the game. But so the first encounter with Seath, it's not possible to kill him. He is currently pseudo-immortal, not because of his scales, because he has no scales, not because of anything like the Everlasting Dragons had, but he's been doing research with crystals, and an item called the Primordial Crystal is keeping him alive indefinitely, and he can't be injured until you destroy it. So that first encounter with Seath is scripted. You have to die there. He just kills you. And then you wake up in a jail cell. And what do we have here? Looks like a guard napping on the job. Classic. So we got a key. So I'm gonna go ahead and level up. 40 strength. I believe 40 is the soft cap in this game. Like, you can keep increasing your stats past 40, but they won't increase by as much. Like, your stats won't increase as effectively, and like diminishing returns and whatnot. But anyway, that is going to do it for this episode, and we will show the rest of the Duke's Archives and what happens from here in the next episode. So thank you so much for watching this one. I'll see you guys then.